And hello, pedal aficionados. Henning Pauli here. We're looking at the Plethora X1 from TC Electronic, which is a fifth of this, or a third of the X3, which I have on my board. So I saw a beta of the Toneprint app a year and a half ago, and in the beta notes, it said something about X1. So I knew it was coming a long time. It was obvious, right? So people are saying this is a competitor for the HX1 from line 6, which is effects from line 6, only one at a time in a pedal. But is it? Well, that's not what this video is about, but I'm going to comment on whether or not it is a competitor to that. Or is it a competitor to the H9 from Eventide, which obviously is ridiculously more expensive and only can do one effect at a time. Is it? We're going to find out what it is and what it isn't, because it is a lot of things not, it is some things yes. Let's take it out of the box first. I know you want to hear it. You don't want to have me blah, 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 blah. Here's some beautiful product shots so you get the details already and some sounds. So there you have it, and now we have it on the table. It is, as I said, a fifth of that. But it is finally, and I think that's probably why they took longer, improved in certain ways, because this, as far as I know, doesn't have Bluetooth, or does it? Doesn't have a connect thing in the back. This does. This also has mini USB, because it took TC a long time to get with the program. And if you look at the back of the Plethora X1, we have, right there, USB-C. There's a connect button for Bluetooth, so you can put Toneprints on this with the app from an iPad, probably Android, definitely your iPhone, and with a computer, but also USB-C. So it's definitely a modern pedal, as it should be. If you could see this in the unboxing, Oli Behringer, who's kind of a questionable character in our industry, personally sent a message to all buyers of this that, yay, music and all that. Don't know what I think about Oli being the poster boy message man on a TC pedal. I know the company belongs to him. I know these are made in his very nice, high-quality factory in China. But it has weird undertone. Sorry, Oli. I don't know. It's not a Behringer product, it's a TC product. That's just, and I know now for a fact that was probably my last TC video ever, and they will never call me again. But I say these things for reasons. So, this is not an X5 or an X3. Because on the X5, yes, you can do pedal boards, you can have 5 pedals in a row, looper, all that stuff. You can actually put your own pedal into it with an insert. It has MIDI, so you can switch it around. This does not have MIDI, which is going to disappoint a lot of people. The line 6 does have MIDI. I might be saying things wrong. There might be be MIDI capability, which still isn't that great because it needs one of those big ones, which you can fit on there, but definitely one of those little mini plugs, at least an input, so you could switch it remotely, which you can't. So it will be one thing at a time, or two things at a time, unless you bend down. There's a cat. Bunny. Right there. So it is different in that sense. I can also not edit effects. Well, you can, but you have to predetermine how they're being edited with the 3 knobs. Creating effects from scratch, you can do with the edit that I'm going to show you. There are a myriad of options, really amazing. We'll look at that later. Here, you have more control over individual parameters, but it's a bigger interface. In here, you pick one of the 7 slots, right? And it changes what's on the slot. You can actually see on slot number 7, by holding this in, you have either a sub and up, you have to hold long, a sub and up, or a triple helix phaser. So you can have 2 different effects on each of the 7 slots, which means 14 overall. And that's actually how it is delivered, but it doesn't deliver with the AB function. You'd have to enable that for each slot. But what is on each of the slots, you determine. If you want this to be only delays, so be it. If you want this to be only delays, reverb, and 1 phaser, so be it. You can do it all with Bluetooth or USB with the app. I'm going to show you later. So if you want to edit this, just says reverb. Actually, when you get to it, it says a bit more. It tells you what preset is there. Angelic voices. With my eyes on the actual pedal, this display is so freaking tiny. I have to guess. I couldn't read freaking speed. I was like, what is this? Couldn't read it. It was too small. You have to be one of the young people, not an old fart, to read that small shit. So you can see effects level. I can read that. I have a big screen in front of me. Right now, I'm tweaking this and I'm in the white portion. It does not react. It's a little, you have to get used to it because I was like, why isn't it doing anything? Why isn't it doing anything? You have to grab it right there. And now it's actually tweaking the effect level. Let's do this for A. So see, nothing's happening on decay. Parameter doesn't change. Bam, and now decay changes. Let's see what B does. B does 2 different things. A high, color, and a factor. So right now, again, these 2 don't do anything. And now they change. How this is affecting the parameter is completely up to you. You could have crossfading, up, down, up, logarithmic, exponential, everything. I'll show you this in the app later. It's very, very good. And the same thing can be done for the mash functionality, which I will also show you. So right now we're on reverb. What you can edit is which kind of reverb it is. Again, the editing functions on this are very basic, but that's why you have the app. So you do as you please, determine what you want it to be and take it on your pedal board and take it on stage. And you can do this at a gig if you really have to change something with the phone. Gonna have to let the cat out. Now he ran away. So by clicking this thing up and down, you're changing what kind of algorithm we're using. And I know Angelic Voices is using the shimmer, or you could go to Angelic Voices, which is what it was. Here we got delay. And you can change what kind of algorithm. Same thing for all of them. Now, this isn't all the possible effects in this. Right? It just isn't, because we only have 7 slots. Now, if I wanted to see what else is next there in the AB with a tap tremolo, I'll hit the foot switch, and now I can change what the foot switch will do. Mash, okay. By clicking it, it'll still turn it on and off, but now I can, with my force, control parameters that I determined earlier with the mash button. So it is a kind of an expression pedal. Okay, hold it, click it down, latching. Kind of think that's what it's supposed to do. Tap tempo. Hold it. Now you tap it. So by holding it, it goes into tap mode. Makes sense for anything that is tempo. Momentary is kind of cool. So it's off, it's on, it's off. So you have like a tak-tak-tak-tak that you want to do. You play, you go tak-tak-tak-tak, and then off. And you can do this. Check this out. I want tap tempo here. So on the delay, it's tap tempo, right? It should still be momentary here. Yep. So that saves it per slot. Very cool. Momentary in mash. How does that work? You're hitting it, mashing it while you're hitting it, and let go. Hitting it, mashing it, let go. Nice. And here we got AB. So now I hold it in, and it's going to a vibrato. This is a long press. You can probably not switch to a specific beat in time. So let's say the chorus comes in and you bam want that to happen. You'd have to kind of hit before you want it to happen, because it takes about a second, something like this. So not really a precise switching, right? So that's what you can do with the Footswitch. And as I said, each of those has a different kind of effect in the background. In the app, you can download custom tone prints from many, many artists, and it clearly looks like this hasn't been updated. Me and a couple of my friends, Colin Scott, many of the other YouTubers, Phil McKnight, we're in there because during the first GitCon, they did a lot of tone prints with YouTubers, but they've got many, many, many artists in there having done presets, and you can load them in there, but all these are pretty old. It seems TC hasn't done any of that in terms of maintenance, getting new artists in, getting new artist presets, because you know what? That probably costs money, and that's something that the main company doesn't want to fork over. So I think they should continue collecting artist presets. I just haven't really seen that happening. But you can then also go into a library where you got kind of templates and then edit yourself. Let's play through some, okay? Just for each of the categories, except for the pitch stuff, because you kind of have to have a song and do the mash thing. You can't really do, for the pitch stuff, you would really want an expression pedal, which you can assign to this, and then you can do whammy stuff. Yeah, you can do it with a mash, but I'm kind of glancing over that. And also the noise gate, because it didn't have any noise. But I'm going to show you a range of what this can do. Okay, let's do it right here on the pedal. I mean, you've heard a lot of sounds, and you can put them all in there very, very easily. This is the Fury from Henry's Guitars. It's a phenomenal guitar for like $700. It's really awesome. I'm going into the Enigmatic by UA, which is a Dumble clone, right there, directly into the X4. That angelic thing is just killer. So that's how much you can edit on this. If you want a different reverb, put it on there. It'll override the angelic, or put it on the B slot, or for which you would have to hold this in, go to AB, right? That's a doubler now, the Mimic. Cat just sneezed on my floor. Great job, Bunny. So I want something else. 2290. The 2290p is one of my favorite delays. Absolutely amazing. Oh, analog. That display is really small. Or dynamic. That is dynamic, modulated. Look, this is the flashback delay, and it's always been amazing. It still is amazing. And now all of this costs as much as the flashback cost back then. They didn't invent anything new. They put all their stuff into one pedal. Because all their stuff is now kind of dated. All their stuff is still amazing. And all their stuff just probably isn't selling as well as it used to. So why not resell it in a new package for a lot less? Because now you can get all their stuff in one pedal. It's called the Truffle Shuffle. Anyone know what that is? Reference? Do you get it? The effects are just great. Chorus is more subtle, the Corona chorus. Corona hasn't aged well. The vibe is very good. And here we got an AB. That's one of the best octave pedals I know. As I said, there's more in there hidden behind the AB function, which you can access for each of the 7 slots. But the idea is you load in what you want. And then it kind of is a preset player with some parameters that you can determine how they are being accessed. Let me show you that. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I said that you cannot edit on the X1, which is true, but you have 3 knobs that you can assign parameters to. So you can edit and adjust those parameters, but you cannot change what is on those knobs. For that, you have to use the app, either, of course, on a mobile or on a desktop. So we have the desktop app here, and I'm going to show you quickly how that works. Now, if you go to the library, you have all the different artist tone prints, and you can easily click on them. Bam, it is on the pedal and you can hear it. If you want to store it on the pedal, you click store on the pedal. Fairly simple. Now, it took me a little bit to get to the editing, because we have are the pedals here, and you actually have to dive into the pedal and then throw stuff on this. So these are all the pedals, the X5, the X3, and here is the brand new X1. So in the templates, you click on that, and now you've got all the different, let's say, algorithms. We know there were or still are individual pedals. So let's say we want to edit a reverb. So we're going to pick some, let's call it a template, angelic voices, okay? And I can say store in pedal, and now that will be stored in my pedal as is. Now I click on the arrow, and now I can fully edit this. I can say kill dry. Okay, input level, effects level, and even how much is going from the octave in there. This, of course, will all change with the algorithm. Here, fully edit the reverb, modulation on and off, modulation rate, all that stuff, more decay. No doubt that TC knows what they're doing. Here you can change the modulation of the reverb with loads of different modulators, you know, flange up, phase or whatever. Here we've got the octave. This is what's interesting now. You can't see the pedal on the table, but we've got 3 knobs, right? So I'm going to go to knob A, and I'm turning it, and you can see the curve of the parameters. I can go all the way to 0, all the way up. But that is not necessarily how it has to be. So if I go all the way to 0 on the knob, it actually goes back up. You can fully change all of that, okay? That is pretty cool. But that is the reverb decay. So let's actually check that. Let's be crazy here. So I'm going to take the knob all the way down. And stupidly, we have more decay. Because for some reason, you might want that. So at the same time, with more decay, so a bigger verb, let's go crazy, I might want to take the mix down. I will take the effects level and actually reverse that, okay? So as I'm increasing the knob, my decay will go up, but my mix will go down. Apparently, way too low now. It was double assigned, that's the problem. No, it's not working. Interesting. Apparently that has to be rather up. But you generally get the idea. So we've got high color and high factor here, and we got no selection on this because that was the effects level. Let's do Octava to effects. Okay. So on C, I got this. So you can actually take the shimmer down. And you can assign 3 different parameters to the knob and change the curve. That is massively flexible. So if you know what you're going to need with the effect on stage or in a rehearsal, you can put that on the knob. Same thing with the mesh foot switch. When you have the mesh function, you can assign 3 different parameters to go up and down with your expression mesh. Pretty damn cool. So I could now save this, give it a name, and then it's on my pedal and in my library. Obviously, I can do this for anything. Interestingly, the alter ego isn't in here, but you can load it. So it's really just, I think, different settings for the flashback. You can have a long, long ass delay. Roll off your delay. I know what I'm doing. Well, and so on and so on. So that is the editing side, and you can do this for everything. So even though you cannot edit on the pedal, you can give yourself some direct access with the 3 knobs. I guess we're done here. We'll make this big, and I'm going to tell you what I think. Well, 7 slots, if you wanted to, could be 14. At which point, again, you're losing maybe tap tempo, you're losing maybe the mesh functionality because you have to change the switch to be the AB. Do you need 14? I don't think so. It's got mesh. It doesn't have expression input, which makes it more difficult for the pitchy stuff. It's got tap tempo. It's got momentary. It's got full stereo in a weird way that I don't quite understand at the moment. You can do basic editing, change algorithms, and do basic parameters that you predetermine on the 3 switches. It is fully stereo. It has Bluetooth. It has USB. The thing that it also has is $189 at Thomann. That's what I found. Probably the same in the US or anywhere else. That's almost a must buy. Let's go back to the Line 6, HX1. Fully editable on the larger screen, which is kind of a monochrome screen as far as I remember. Do you want to edit it on there? Probably not. It does have MIDI. It's a bit bigger pedal. It's a different idea. It's a one effect at a time, but it also has drives. It has more effects categories. Do you need those? Probably not. Yes, no, but it's also a bit more expensive. How much more? The HX1 is $60 more. Not necessarily cost prohibitive, and you're gonna go for this because of the price versus the other one. But it also has 2 foot switches, MIDI. Okay, but what it doesn't have is TC sounds. It has the Line 6 sounds, and there's good ones. But I feel that the TC stuff is just killer. I always felt a little bit more comfortable with the fidelity, and not the fidelity, the Line 6 also sounds good, but just the sound aesthetic that TC has. It's really good stuff. I don't feel like you're compromising in any way using this, other than no MIDI, access to way more presets. What's on here is what you get. But you're getting a lot for the price and for the size. If you always wanted a Hall of Fame reverb, a flashback delay, or any of them, this is all in there, and you could make this 7 or actually 14 different delays. That's pretty cool. It's a slam dunk. It made total sense. This was already a slam dunk. The X3, about this big, made a lot of sense because a lot smaller. This, as your workhorse, can do anything in the chain, absolutely killer. And that's it. They commissioned this video. Thank you for doing that, TC. I hope we will continue working with each other. Links below. Please use them. That supports the channel. Also, subscribing supports the channel. If you haven't done that, why haven't you done that? Thank you for doing that. And Animals at the end.